Pokemon and Hololive are two things I enjoy very much. But what happens if we put them together? Hello Pokemon and Hololive fans. Today we'll be answering the question, what if a Hololive VTuber became a Pokemon Master? But first, some context. What is a Pokemon Master? A Pokemon Master is a trainer who goes on a journey to defeat 8 powerful gym leaders to claim their gym badges in order to challenge the Elite Four. If they defeat the Elite Four, they can challenge the current reigning champion. If they defeat the current Pokemon Master, well, they are the new Pokemon Master for their region. Now, what is Hololive? Hololive is a VTuber agency that hires talents to perform streams, singing, dancing, all kinds of stuff, little skits, all kinds of cool, cute stuff. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be turning Shiori Novella from Hololive Advent into a Pokemon Master. Now let's see what the official Hololive webpage has to say about Shiori Novella. Driven by her thirst for knowledge, Shiori Novella is the archiver. She turns her favorite stories and treasured memories into bookmarks and saves them. By misfortune, she was found to have obtained forbidden knowledge within one of her stories and was imprisoned. But to her, that experience itself is but a fascinating story. In order to continue her search for more stories, she planned and executed a prison break. Alright, so that is the lore of Shiori. In terms of appearance, she has a lot of black and white and some purple going on. And her themes seem to be very gothic. Based on what we have here, I would say some keywords for her would be like black and white, gothic, memories and stories, and dreams. Maybe we could kind of substitute that into there, because I don't think there are any Pokemon that are book related, because we know she loves books and stuff like that. That's one of the things she likes to read a lot. I don't think there are any book Pokemon. So maybe we can stretch some things out with memories and stories and stuff like that. In terms of her personality, I would say she is very how do I say it? Sometimes hyper, cheerful, little dorky, definitely unhinged, very entertaining person to watch. So we'll be using all of that to build her Pokemon team based off her themes. Might have to stretch a few things a little bit because, like I said, there's no book-based Pokemon, unfortunately. But we'll see what we can come up with. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and put this team together. Alright, because of our, we have to work with Shiori's lore, we're going to be stretching some things out, especially the knowledge, the forbidden knowledge, and the whole memory theme she has going on, where she can turn memories into bookmarks. Obviously there isn't a Pokemon like that, but we're going to be stretching the memories, and we'll do the best we can. I've already selected the 6th Pokemon. Obviously you're watching this video, so you probably already know that. So for her first Pokemon, I wanted to start with this legendary Pokemon known as Uxie. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is a legendary Pokemon from, I believe, should be from Diamond and Pearl, Platinum. This Pokemon was said to have brought intelligence to the people of the Pokemon world, which helped improve their quality of life. It helped them learn how to solve certain problems. It was thought of as being the birth of knowledge. I thought that related well to her, obtaining forbidden knowledge. So again, like I said, might be a stretch, but I just really thought it worked really well with it. It is also said it can wipe the memories of those who look into its eyes. Pretty interesting. Uxie is a psychic type Pokemon. Uxie is known as the knowledge Pokemon and is going to be the only legendary on this team. So I don't really have much else to say, but let's move on to the next Pokemon. The next Pokemon is going to be Drapion. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. Drapion is a dark poison type Pokemon. It is a scorpion-like Pokemon. But the reason why we picked this Pokemon is because it has if it's scissor-like hands, and we all know that Shiori loves to use scissors. She likes to use scissors to eat her food and just have scissors around at all times. So this Pokemon represents that because it has the scissor-like arms. I know there's a Pokemon, I know the Pokemon Scizor actually exists, but I wanted to pick this one. I just thought the colors also better matched Shiori with the darker colors. than Scizor did, so that's why I went Drapion. And Drapion is he's a poison dark, but he's also a bug before he evolves. In his pre-evolved form, he's bug poison, I believe, or he's bug dark. I think he's bug poison. And we also know that Shiori likes to take pictures of bugs, so I thought it was a good match as well for that. But mainly I chose this one over Scizor because of the colors and obviously the scissor hands. This Pokemon even learns X scissors, which works really well for that too. Some lore about Drapion is that it has the power in its clawed arms to make scrap of even a car. And the tips of its claws release poison, but I imagine you're probably getting killed by those claws before the poison even does anything to you. It also apparently has a really bad reputation because it attacks people who cross the desert for no reason. That has nothing to do with Shiori, but it's just interesting. For our third Pokemon, we're going to go with Gothitelle. I think this is pretty obvious, right? Gothitelle, it represents the goth side of Shiori, the gothic dress. And it's also a Pokemon that has black and white colors too. It even has some purple too. Now this Pokemon actually does kind of fit into our theme as well, and I'll explain why that is. Let me pull up the info. This Pokemon has tremendous psychic power, but it dislikes conflict. It's also able to predict the future based on the movement of the stars. I know this is getting into like crony territory, but we can also kind of view that as a forbidden knowledge, right? She's obtaining knowledge from the future. Also, in Scarlet and Violet, the Pokedex entry says like Gothitelle unleashes psychic energy and shows opponents dreams of the universe's end. These dreams are apparently ethereal and beautiful, so that could also be seen as a form of forbidden knowledge, right? It also is able to gaze at the stars, predict the future. It acts somewhat detached because it has seen the end of all existence, right? Another form of forbidden knowledge. So that's why I went with Gothitelle. I think this one's a pretty easy pick for Shiori. And now let's move on to the next Pokemon. Alright, next up we're going to be stretching the memory themes of Shiori for this next one. Next Pokemon is, how do you say this? Is it Musharna or Musharna? Well, I'm going to call it Musharna, or it's probably Musharna because it's MU. I don't know. But this is a psychic type Pokemon. It is known as the drowsing Pokemon. It likes to sleep a lot. According to the lore of this Pokemon, it likes to the dream. You see the little mist coming out from it. The dream mist comes from its forehead, changes into the different colors depending on what the dream it has eaten. So it loves to eat dreams. We've seen Shiori turn memories into bookmarks and then eat the bookmarks based on the holograph. So that's what I'm saying. We're kind of twisting things around here. I wanted to do something with that, and so we needed some kind of Pokemon that could eat dreams. There's a bunch of Pokemon that could do it. We could have used Gengar, because Gengar learned Dream Eater, but this Pokemon is very dream focused, so I thought I would want to go with this one instead. And that's pretty much what this Pokemon, the placement that this Pokemon serves is just to represent that. There's not like unfortunately not like a book-based Pokemon, because there was a book-based Pokemon. I would have loved to have used that instead, because we all know Shiori loves books, and she's the archiver. So, but since I couldn't do that, I had to go with the memory-based stuff instead, and I chose this Pokemon for that. Next up, I wanted to pick up a Pokemon that kind of represented the fandom. I don't always do this, but I think we got one here to represent the Novelites. Sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing things. But we got a ghost Pokemon, and that Pokemon is going to be Dusclops. I went with Dusclops because Dusclops has like a single eye, and so do the Novelites, at least based on this design here. This is the one I was kind of basing it on. Hopefully I got a picture for you there. That's the one I was basing it on. And yeah, that's why Dusclops was chosen. Dusclops is a pretty cool Pokemon. I think Dusclops was the better fit over Dusknor, because Dusknor I believe has like 3 eyes. Because I think the face on its belly has the actual eyes. I just think Dusclops is a better fit. That's why I went with Dusclops. Dusclops is it's actually like a void Pokemon. Its body is said to be completely empty, and that if you get sucked in, it's like almost like a black hole in there. Pretty cool Pokemon. And yeah, not much else to say in that. It's classified as the Beacon Pokemon. Beacon Pokemon. I think it's Beacon Pokemon. It absorbs anything of any size also. Okay, I guess that brings us to the final Pokemon. This one was a bit tougher than I was like, wait a minute, I got the answer. I was like, we've got a Pokemon for her memories. We got a Pokemon that represents the fandom. We got the dress. You know, we got all these Pokemon. I said, what can we pick that represents the prison break? We all know Advent was led by Shiori in her master plan to break out of the prison. And who better to represent a prison and escaping that prison than the Pokemon Klefki. Klefki is an actual set of keys. You know, they could have freed Shiori. But this is the best I could come up with. I like Klefki. I know some people don't. The people are like, oh, Klefki, the Pokemon's running out of ideas because it's a set of keys, but they forget that, like, literally, Muck is a pile of poop. It's not a ghost Pokemon, but somehow it exists. Okay, anyway, I'm not here to argue about that. We can argue about that any other time. We're talking about Klefki. Klefki is the key ring Pokemon. It has a bunch of keys attached to it. Maybe one of those keys allowed Shiori to escape. It's a Steel Fairy type Pokemon. It represents our prison break Pokemon. There's not much else to say than that. It uses moves like Foul Play. I used to use this Pokemon in X and Y, and I've never hated its design. I think people were silly when they said, oh, it's a key Pokemon. Well, yeah, it's a fairy, though. The fairy could have possessed the keychain. There are definitely other weird Pokemon that existed way before. Anyway, that's the last Pokemon. So that means we're going to move on to the battle against Shiori. What kind of things will she say in her introduction and in her defeat? Let's go ahead and move on to that. Okay, so you've made it to the top and now you're ready to face Shiori for the right to call yourself champion. So here's what Shiori has to say. As your battle continues, Shiori has you in the ropes. Here's what she might say. The battle is drawing closer to the climax, and you've backed Shiori into a corner. After a long, hard-fought battle, Shiori is finally defeated, and you are now the new Pokemon League champion. Let's see what she has to say. And that wraps up another Hololive member for the Pokemon Master series. Please let me know what you think of the video. If you enjoyed watching, please like and subscribe. There were many other Pokemon I thought about for Shiori. I know I've seen some people say that Milk Tank is a good choice because of the joke that some people have used to say that Shiori is a cow because of the black and white colors. But Milk Tank isn't black and white, so I didn't pick that one. I also thought about Darkrai as a Pokemon too because of the black and white coloring. But other than the black and white color, he didn't really have anything thematically that would go with her. But I guess we could have still picked him. He still would have fit the bill, at least in terms of aesthetics. I just didn't put him in there. But I guess we could technically swap out like Uxie or something to put Darkrai in there. So that's an option as well. But let me know your opinions and who else we could have picked for this team. And I will continue to work on these videos. I'm sorry that they take a long time to come out. You know, I work a full-time job, so I can't just spend every second of my day working on this, even though I do enjoy doing it. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.